What's up everyone? Alex here. Happy New Year everyone! In this video, we're going to be checking out the JRPGs you'll be playing in 2024. This list will contain many exciting new JRPGs that you've both been looking forward to and have probably never heard of, as well as games in its periphery that are sure to delight. We have a ton of games to cover, so use the chapter markers to skip around to the games you're interested in. Let's get started. Crystal Story: Dawn of Dusk is releasing on January 12th on Steam. When I first saw gameplay of this, I was immediately reminded of Undertale, especially in its mini gameplay sequences. But Crystal Story is so much more than that, as it combines the aesthetics from the 16-bit era, along with some clever storytelling and gameplay that differentiates itself from other RPGs. Featuring real-time and turn-based combat, Crystal Story is one of those games that's gonna be a ton of fun to experience, and a great way to kick off 2024. Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth is coming out on January 26th on PlayStation and Xbox platforms and PC, and will continue Ichiban's story from Yakuza Like a Dragon. Ichiban's mom happens to be alive, living in the United States, and wants to meet him, so Ichiban goes on a quest to a foreign land to meet her in person. This turn-based JRPG now lets you move your character around during combat, and it even stars Kazuma Kiryu as one of your party members. I've been looking forward to this game since I beat Yakuza Like a Dragon twice many years ago, and I can't wait to jump back into this incredible world. After years of waiting, Granblue Fantasy Relink is finally coming out on February 1st on PlayStation platforms and PC. Granblue Fantasy Relink is an action RPG that promises to be one of the best multiplayer experiences of the year. The game will have multiple playable characters from the Granblue universe, which can potentially open up a ton of different combo opportunities depending on your party composition. This game is gonna be one to look out for sure. Persona 3 Reload, the long-anticipated remake of Persona 3, is coming out on February 2nd on PlayStation and Xbox platforms and PC. This game is an amalgamation of everything that's great about the mainline Persona games, which include the baton pass from Persona 5 and player-controlled characters. Sadly, no FemProtag or FES content here, but that doesn't mean Persona 3 Reload doesn't offer a lot already. It's gonna be fun to come back to Tatsumi Port Island after all these years, and I can't wait to see Mitsuru and the members of SEAS again. Shiren the Wanderer, the Mystery Dungeon of Serpentcoil Island, is the latest game in the long-running roguelike RPG series, and it's coming out on February 27th on the Switch. The game will feature procedurally generated dungeons, enemies, and loot, as well as the ability to rescue others who can help you with your dungeon run. The long-awaited Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is coming out on February 29th on PS5. Rebirth promises to reunite the entire Final Fantasy VII crew on their fateful journey, along with potential twists and turns that may alter the course of their story in unexpected ways. It also features a ton of new gameplay features, as well as stories that are expanded upon from the original. This game is also arriving on 2 Blu-ray discs, so I'm expecting this game to be one huge epic adventure. Vanillaware is back, and on March 8th, their latest magnum opus, Unicorn Overlord, will be releasing on PlayStation platforms, Series X and S, and Switch. Unicorn Overlord combines Vanillaware's exquisite character designs and animation with gameplay depth that could potentially turn it into one of the most important strategy RPGs released in recent memory. And if 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim is any indication, I'm expecting Unicorn Overlord to have a fantastic story tied to its Ogre Battle-inspired battle system. The Legend of Legacy returns in Remastered HD on March 22nd on PlayStation platforms, Switch, and PC. If you've never played it before, The Legend of Legacy is a light-hearted JRPG that's very gameplay focused, making it easy to pick up and play. As such, it's also quite light in terms of story. It's a game that takes a ton of risks, making it very divisive in the JRPG community. If you're iffy on this one, check out the Alliance Alive Remaster, which irons out many of the things Legend of Legacy attempts to do. After an even longer wait, Dragon's Dogma 2 is finally coming out on March 22nd on PS5, Series X and S, and PC. This real-time action RPG features pawns whose appearance and class you can customize that will fight alongside you as you battle monsters of all sizes, in a medieval fantasy setting that takes a ton of inspiration from modern fantasy RPGs. And with Dragon's Dogma 2, you'll get brand new classes, more intuitive gameplay, and more skills you'll be able to use while climbing monsters. I can't wait to scale the new monsters in this game. The spiritual successor to Suikoden, Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes, is finally coming out on April 23rd on PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. What's there to be said? This is from the creators of one of the most highly regarded JRPG series ever made, which now features fantastic sprite work against a 3D background, along with gameplay that will surely delight fans of the aforementioned title. And with 100 heroes in tow, you've got a ton of choices for party composition, as well as tons of different stories to experience that'll have you trying to recruit as many of them as possible. This game promises to be one of the most epic JRPGs of the year, and definitely belongs in this list. SaGa Emerald Beyond, releasing on April 25th for PlayStation platforms, Switch, PC, and mobile, is a super ambitious turn-based JRPG where your story can branch and unfold based on your choices and actions. And I want to be clear by saying that this isn't a free-to-play RPG. This is the latest game in the SaGa series. I've had limited experience with the SaGa games, having only played through Frontier 1 and 2 and Final Fantasy Legend 2. But I gotta admit that I've been wanting to get into this series for a while, and SaGa Emerald Beyond promises to have the best turn-based system in any SaGa game to date, and that's a good enough promise for me to put it on my wish list. The following games all have a 2024 window, and we'll be starting this section off with games that have a narrowed time frame. Octopath Traveler 2 is coming to Xbox platforms in early 2024, and I know that this game already came out on other platforms, but I simply couldn't pass up the opportunity to go to bat for it again in this list. This game is one of the best games of 2023, as voted by both me and you, the fans, and it's great that Xbox owners will be able to play this game as well. Stray Children is slated to come out on Switch in early 2024, and this turn-based RPG tells the story of a boy who wakes up in a land where only children live. Created by the folks who made Little King's Story and the anti-RPG Moon, not much else is known about the game, but it sure looks interesting, doesn't it? Quartet is coming out in early 2024 on PC first, then consoles later. This turn-based RPG allows players to create a 4-player party, with the ability to swap any with your reserved characters a la Final Fantasy X, allowing them to take their turn right away. The game features 8 characters, whose stories intertwine, and together, they'll uncover how a secret, centuries-old conflict reshaped the entire world. And check that out, there's even a demo released for it. I might just go check it out right now. Class of Heroes 1 and 2 Complete Edition is coming out early 2024 on PS5, Switch, and PC. This is a first-person dungeon crawler RPG inspired by the Wizardry series, and much like their inspiration, these games favor gameplay above all else. The games feature different races and classes that you can mix and match, and are quite complex. These games are balanced to be on the harder side, so don't be fooled by how it looks. This is one that vets will enjoy a ton more. So many of you brought up this game last year when it was first released on PC, but for the rest of us, WitchSpring R is coming out in spring 2024 on other platforms. In case you haven't heard, WitchSpring R is a story-based RPG that combines collection, simulation, and combat. What people don't know is that this is actually a remake of a game called WitchSpring 1, which features updated graphics and a ton of gameplay changes. Honestly, it looks fantastic, and I just hope that I can get around to playing this game this year. Sword of Convallaria is a tactical JRPG releasing in spring 2024 on both PC and mobile. And before you groan about its gacha, you might want to know that a lot of work is being put into this game so that that aspect of it doesn't get in the way of enjoying the story. Naturally, only time will tell if that's true. But for the time being, we can enjoy its gorgeous visuals, the promise of amazing tactical combat, a narrative that respects your choices, and multiple endings. That alone is much more than what other gacha games promise, so here's hoping it sticks the landing when it releases this year. Bloomtown, A Different Story, is releasing in spring 2024 on both Switch and PC, and it's from Lazy Bear Games, the creators of Punch Club 2, one of my favorite indie series of all time. Bloomtown is set in a 1960s Americana and combines turn-based combat, monster capturing, and social link type mechanics in a neatly wrapped RPG that promises to be one of the year's breakout games. I love Lazy Bear Games, and seeing them take an honest shot at the genre absolutely delights me. I can't wait to play this game. Demonschool is coming in spring 2024 on PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Its look reminds me a ton of Personas 1 and 2, and its unique visual design really sets it apart from other indie RPGs out there. The game promises to combine elements of the aforementioned series with that of Italian horror cinema, along with a convenience that tactical RPGs have these days, a rewind function. There's even social link mechanics and a calendar system. This is a game that I was looking forward to playing in 2023, and here's hoping that they'll announce an actual release date very soon. Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Steals Time, is slated to come out in summer 2024 on the Switch. But Level 5 boss Akihiro Hino hinted at the fact that he already knows when the game is coming out specifically. This game is one of those life simulation meets action RPG combat games, and it's got a ton of new things including new jobs, new character customization, and the biggest feature of them all, the ability to jump up small ledges. Kidding aside, I've never had any time to play the original, so I'm certainly curious to play this game just to see what it's all about. My go-to MMO, Final Fantasy XIV, is releasing its latest expansion, Dawntrail, in summer 2024 on PlayStation platforms, Series X and S, and PC. After the climactic events of Endwalker, it's time for the Scions to kick back, One Piece style, as their journeys take them to a land that looks almost like South America, complete with Incan-looking ruins, and a contest that'll determine the ruler of the land. And with brand new jobs and a new level 100 cap, this brand new adventure is sure to be like none other out there. I've been waiting for Kuro no Kiseki to come out in the West ever since it got announced, and sometime in mid-2024, we'll all be able to do so, as Trails Through Daybreak comes out on PlayStation platforms, Switch, and PC. Set in Calvard, this new series allows newcomers to start with the Trail series with this iteration. But my favorite part of Daybreak has got to be how it combines action gameplay, no doubt inspired by Falcom's own E-series, with that of its traditional turn-based combat. This is a huge upgrade to the previous Trails games, and to say that I'm looking forward to this one is an extreme understatement. Speaking of highly anticipated games, do you all remember Project ReFantazio? You know, the game that Katsura Hashino, the director of Personas 3, 4, and 5, created a new development studio for from the ground up? Metaphor ReFantazio is that game, and it's releasing this fall on PlayStation platforms, Series X and S, and PC. Not much is known about this game until its reveal last year, which was also shown to have action gameplay combined with turn-based combat. The visual design of its world also seems to be a hybrid of different eras, which can make it a fascinating place to explore. And with Shoji Meguro composing, you bet that there's gonna be a wonderful soundtrack that'll accompany the unique vibes of this brand new IP. Lumentale Memories of Trey is slated to come out December 2024 on PlayStation and Xbox platforms, Switch, and PC. Their Kickstarter says that they're aiming for December 2024, but that might just be a placeholder. But I figured I'd talk about it anyway because it looks really cool. Lumentale is a monster capturing RPG that features turn-based combat and a fairly in-depth story when compared to other games like it. The thing that strikes me about this game is its art style, which takes me back to my youth. I can't wait to hear more about this game as the weeks and months progress. Arisen Force Vonimir is an action RPG slated to come out in Q4 2024 on PC, and on consoles the following year. And I gotta say, when I saw the trailer for this game, I immediately fell in love with its 2.5D side-scrolling hack-and-slash gameplay. But unlike other hack-and-slashers like Dragon's Crown, there's plenty of elements from traditional turn-based RPGs, like connected towns and dungeons via world maps, shops, and the like, that make the world feel much larger than it is. And there's even a playable demo of the game out right now. Yet another demo I need to check out for sure. Lost Eidolons: Veil of the Witch is having an early access release sometime during the first half of 2024 on PC, with an eventual release planned for PS5, Series X and S, and Switch later. Many of you have talked so much about this series that I figured I'd include it here, even if I'm not entirely sure if it's coming out in 2024. Because yes, more people should know about it. For those who don't know, Lost Eidolons is a series of tactical RPGs that borrows elements from other tactical RPGs like Fire Emblem and makes it its own. And yes, it's a bit grittier looking than the Japanese-inspired art style we're used to, but many of you swear that it's a ton better than it looks. And Veil of the Witch just expands upon what many love about the series. The remake of Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door is coming out on the Switch sometime in 2024. This game is a fan favorite, featuring an entertaining story, fun combat, and everything you love about Paper Mario. I'm not going to say much about this game since this has technically been out for years, but more will be able to finally play the game when it gets its glow up this year. Blue Protocol is slated to come out in 2024 on PS5, Series X and S, and PC. This game is a free-to-play action RPG that'll feature an immersive and engaging RPG narrative. And if recent free-to-play games have been any indication, this one is sure to have an even deeper storyline than most. The team behind the game is composed of folks who worked on various Bandai Namco games, such as Tales, Tekken, and Ace Combat, and they're working on getting it prepped for release sometime this year. Level 5's DECAPOLICE is slated to come out in 2024 for PlayStation platforms and Switch, and this new IP combines investigative gameplay with that of traditional turn-based JRPG combat. The game is set in a virtual world that casts you as a rookie detective tasked with arresting criminals in a huge, crime-riddled city, which actually forces you to travel back and forth between physical and virtual worlds. This is one of Level 5's most anticipated titles, alongside Fantasy Life I, and of the two, this is the one that I've got my eyes on. Suikoden 1 and 2 Remaster are scheduled to come out in 2024 on PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Suikoden 1 and 2 are indeed in my backlog, but you know what? I've heard enough compliments about these two that I'm eager to skip the PS1 copies I got and wait for this fantastic remaster. The remaster takes cues from a plethora of HD 2D games out there, and I for one can't wait to play them this way. Atelier Wrestleriana, Forgotten Alchemy, and the Polar Knight Liberator is coming out on PC and mobile in 2024. I don't really have much to say about this game apart from it being a great looking Atelier title, but I do suspect that we'll probably get to see an actual mainline Atelier game of sorts sometime this year, so I'm using this as an opportunity to share that. Still, Wrestleriana looks great, and it's tempting me to check it out, for once. Zenless Zone Zero is Hoyo's latest action RPG, slated to come out in 2024 on PC and mobile, and on identified console soon after. There's been a ton of press about Zenless Zone Zero lately, and I can't deny how good it looks. I mean, all of Hoyo's games look great. But Zenless Zone Zero's action gameplay certainly intrigues me, and it's something I'm gonna look into when it comes out this year. Tale, a League of Legends story, is coming out in 2024 on Switch and PC. This is yet another game from Lazy Bear, which almost sounds like that other game that I talked about earlier in this video. Regardless, Tale is a crafting RPG set in the world of League of Legends, and it's a visually rich world that expands upon our understanding of the Bandlewoods. And if it's like any other League of Legends-based games, this is gonna be one that many can enjoy, despite not being familiar with its lore. Beastie Ball is coming out in 2024 on PC, and this is what would have resulted if Blitzball actually played like a good game. Yeah, shots fired on Final Fantasy X there. This turn-based tactical game is certainly unique in its idea and concept, and what's really cool about this one is that it's also a monster taming game that has you playing as a coach of a volleyball team that also features some social mechanics to help with your team cohesion leading up to each game. Honestly, I think this game looks phenomenal, and the idea of managing a team of volleyball-playing monsters lets me live out my Haikyuu dreams a tiny bit, so I'm eager to check the game's demo, out right now, when I have a chance. Towerborn is coming out on Series X and S and PC in 2024, and it's a classic beat-em-up action RPG. This game is from the creators of the banner SaGa series, and given that pedigree, I can't wait to see what they can do with this style of gameplay and play yet another awesome beat-em-up this year. I'm a sucker for these, and adding RPG elements to it just means more gaming for me. Only this time, I can share this RPG adventure with other friends too. Dark Deity II is slated to come out in 2024 on PC. I've never seen the first Dark Deity, but Dark Deity 2's pixel aesthetic definitely makes me curious about it. Featuring tactical RPG gameplay that seemingly reminds me of the Shining Force series, Dark Deity 2 is an ambitious title that has playthroughs shaped by our own choices, in addition to a shortened campaign that features randomized teams with every playthrough. Either way, this game looks to be a must-play for 2024, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of this game in the coming months. Saving one of the best for last for this section, Visions of Mana is slated to come out in 2024 on PlayStation platforms, Series X and S, and PC. I am a huge fan of the 3D remake of Trials of Mana released years ago, and with Visions of Mana, I literally jumped with joy when I saw the mana tree show up during the TGAs. Finally, a brand new mana game in the series that's actually built from the ground up to be played on modern consoles. Visions of Mana seems to want to fulfill our dreams of exploring a visually rich world with stunning landscapes and familiar enemies that's sure to shoot up as one of the best games of the year. This might be calling it early, but I'm so excited for the return of this classic action RPG series. The following games have a likelihood of releasing in 2024, but I wouldn't bet the farm on it. Still, I think they're worth mentioning. Here they are. Lost Soulacide is slated to come out early 2024 on PS5 and PC. It's been included in every single most anticipated list since its reveal back in 2016, so why stop now? Lost Soulacide is an ambitious action RPG from South Korea that promises to deliver the kind of over-the-top action that we were promised with the original announcement of Final Fantasy Versus 13. But will it make it this year? As with most things, time will surely tell. Sandland might come out on PlayStation platforms, Series X and S and PC in 2024, and this is a game based on Akira Toriyama's manga of the same name. This action RPG is being developed by the team responsible for One Piece Odyssey and Dragon Quest XI, and the game will allow you to create crazy tanks and the like, promising that we'll be able to combine a bunch of different part types to build some crazy imaginative vehicles. There's even a base building mechanic that I'm a sucker for as well, so I'm eager to see how all of these wonderful ideas will come together. Gestalt, Steam and Cinder is slated to come out in 2024 on PC and consoles. It was first announced about 3 years ago, but the Steam page just got updated recently with a 2024 release. And despite its initial reveal years ago, its artwork still holds up really well today, owing much to its incredible visual design. And don't be fooled with all of the descriptions saying it's merely a platformer. It's an action RPG, and a really good looking one at that, and one that promises to play just as well as it appears. Sacrifier is coming out on PC first in 2024, then consoles afterwards. The developer says that they're trying to blend real-time action with turn-based gameplay with this one, with the combat system being heavily influenced by Vagrant Story in that you can target different enemy parts so you can gain certain advantages. It might have slipped a few release dates here and there, but my light shines bright for Sacrifier still, and I'm hoping that we hear more about it soon enough. Stellar Blade is slated to come out in 2024 on PS5, and this action-adventure game is looking better and better the more I watch this trailer, which makes sense since this is being developed by a studio formed by Blade & Soul's illustrator. The game is set in a future where humans are driven from the Earth by an invading alien force. In terms of gameplay, Stellar Blade's got some cool systems that reward players for playing the game well, including a dodge and parry mechanic that builds up a gauge that lets you activate buffs or unleash powerful attacks on enemies. Here's hoping that is inching closer to its release this year. I love Front Mission 3, and its remake is slated to come out in 2024 on the Switch. The Front Mission remakes have been a labor of love these past few years, and I'm hoping that this one delivers and offers a ton more than its predecessors. Combining huge mechs, political intrigue, awesome tactical turn-based combat, and fantastic character development, Front Mission 3 is the pinnacle of the series. And of the 3 remakes, this is the one that I'm looking forward to playing the most. Arknights Enfield is a completely different beast than the original Arknights, and this spin-off, scheduled for 2024 for PS5, PC, and mobile, features action combat with RPG mechanics. I've watched footage of this game and it looks really good, and even though I enjoyed Arknight's turn-based gameplay immensely, it's a tower defense game for all intents and purposes, seeing this series evolve into an action game has certainly piqued my interest. Here's hoping that we get to know more about this upcoming game really soon. And the last game on this list is Dragon Quest III HD 2D, with no platforms, but one that I'm hoping is coming out this year. It's been almost 4 years to the day this video is released that any news on this game would be welcome. Still, I wanted to bring it up as the last game here because even though this was present in my most anticipated list last year, it goes to show that some of the best ideas are worth bringing up from time to time, even though we're not 100% sure that they're coming out soon. And that has been an exhaustive list of JRPGs and games in its periphery that we're anticipating will come out this year. Which games are you looking forward to? Post your thoughts in the comments below and let's talk about it. My producer Chloe is also anticipating that you'll visit our Patreon and subscribe to the $5 tier. You'll get early access to videos, behind the scenes posts, as well as get your name at the end of every video. Head on over to patreon.com/backlogbattle and keep our dream alive. Thank you very much for watching everyone, and I'll see you in the next video.